Hey, what's up everybody? It's about 4:05. Yeah, you can see here I'm reading off a message from Ian Flynn that he put on his DA journal, if you will, 1 day ago, 24 hours ago and 24 hours ago and 13 minutes. 24 hours and 13 minutes ago. I guess. Now, a lot of you probably already know about this. As a matter of fact, you go to some of the message boards. I have quoted, not linked, but quoted what he has said. Now, I'm going to get to a part that I don't totally agree upon, and then that might be a little bit where a rant may come into play, but maybe not. I'm just letting you guys know that right now. But first of all, the title of this is called FAQ plus Sally, basically answering questions. These frequently answered questions, Q&A if you will, plus stuff on Sally. This is what he says, and I quote. This is directly from Ian Flynn, and I quote. The general points I try to leave out for people often get eclipsed by larger journal entries, so I'm going to start putting that first. And this is what he does. This is what he does. When you click on the link, you'll see that the questions are in bold print, and his answers are in regular print. So this is his Q&A here, and I quote. First of all, the first question is, are you really, capitalizes really, Ian Flynn the comic guy? His answer, yes I am. You can check out my website and my body of work at www.bumbleking.com. Second question, awesome, I love your art in the comics. His answer, that's flattering, but I don't do the art. I'm the writer. I compose the manuscripts the art team uses to produce the book. I've done concept art though. Some you can find here on DA. Some you can find in the graphic novel collection. I'm a decent doodler, but I leave the real, capitalizes real, art to the skilled professionals. Read my fanfic. Look up my fan art. Use my fan concept. That's the third question. That's the third thing in bold, a question. His answer to that? Nope, nuh-uh. That would open me up to allegations of this would open me up to allegations of intellectual theft. There's a lot of really creative fans out there, and they produce a lot of cool stuff. What if I accidentally reuse someone else's idea down the road? Some folks would be flattered, others would be enraged I, quote-unquote, stole from them. For my protection and to protect the fandom, I limit any fan material to fan art of official characters. Fourth one, I want to talk to you. His answer, I wish I could keep in touch with everyone, but I really don't have the time. Your best bet is to voice your thoughts here on my form, the Bumbleking form. Comments and notes through DA will be read. But I don't know when, and I don't know if I'll reply. I can only keep up so many avenues of correspondence, you know. Fifth one. I love the comics. Oh wait, fifth one. So why are you on DA then? His answer, mostly to keep up with old friends, some artists I like, and to share some concept art from time to rare time. Sixth one. I love the comics. I share them with all my friends on DA. His answer, the enthusiasm is appreciated, but you're breaking the law. People have to buy the books to get the content. That money becomes profit for Archie and ensures they keep producing the book and I keep my job. Putting up scans for free loses Archie money. And then there's the whole illegal angle. So if you got full scans up, I appreciate you taking them down. Parentheses, not like I can do anything about it, but still. Alright. What he's saying there basically is he really doesn't mind. What he's saying there, Ian Flynn, is he really doesn't mind if fans do it, but because he's working for Archie right now, it's kind of difficult to do it. In other words, he doesn't mind it. In other words, Ian Flynn's saying, hey, I don't mind if you guys do it, but right now, because I'm working for Archie Comics, I can't risk my job, and I can't risk losing my job over that. So, all right. Seventh question. Seventh question. I, underline, capitalize, hate you. His answer, sorry to hear that. His answer, sorry to hear that. Say what you will, but keep it cool. If you decide to be vulgar and or profane, I'm hiding your comment. It'll stay there. You'll know I have read it, but I won't force other people to endure your foul language. And then this is what he says. And now the moment you've been waiting for. ... Sally, capitalized, why? His answer, I can't really comment on it much right now since it's only a rough teaser image and part of a larger game plan. Makes you think, right? But to suffice to say, Sally, in parentheses, the Satyam cast, and this is what I'm going to get into it in a minute, are old, outdated, niche characters. If they're to survive, they need to mesh with the way the Sonic franchise looks today. There's a lot of rumors flying around, some hilarious, some baffling, so stop to ask where the source of someone's rumor is. If quote-unquote, they heard, is Bupkis. If, quote-unquote, they heard, it's Bupkis. If, quote-unquote, Ian said, they better have a link. Just keep these things in mind. Does she still have her auburn hair? Yes. Does she still have a vest? Yes. Does she still have boots? Yes. Is she still a brown chipmunk? Yes. Pants aren't going to ruin her character. She'd be pretty shallow. She'd be a pretty shallow, terrible character if that were true. Next one. You're trying to kill Satyam forever, you Phil Sega lover. His answer, no. If I wanted to kill the aspect of the franchise, If I wanted to kill that aspect of the franchise, it'd be dead. I could have wiped it out of Genesis, quote-unquote Genesis. I could have had Dr. Eggman nuke them all in one panel and never speak of it again. These characters have survived solely thanks to the Archie books. I'm a fan of them, and I'd like to preserve them for as long as I can, however I can. Next one. Then why all the random game tie-ins? Why interrupt the crossover? Ian's answer. You know I have no control over that, right? I just write the stories. I have a lot of creative freedom, but these properties don't belong to me. When Sega or Capcom says, quote-unquote, do the story for us and do it now, that's what happens. That's just the nature of the business. I'm not the big decision maker. I'm just part of the process. And the last one, can you tell them no? Can you tell them, quote-unquote, no, not right now? His answer, sure we would, sure we could. And then we'd all be fired and the comics would be canceled. I much prefer to have fun side stories and awesome crossovers instead, don't you? Now, there are some people that do agree with him, and he does bring up some good points. You know, for example, he has no real control over what is done or over what is said or whatever. So, I can understand that part. I could totally understand that part. And I do agree with him that if you're going to, show disdain for him or kind of criticize him, don't go out and try to, use foul language or anything. It's not going to work. Now, with that said, I want to talk about what he said about the SatAM situation. I want to talk about that, for example. And you'll probably see that I have the DVD here, one of the box sets I own, as well as my Doomsday Project movie right there. Now, Ian, Paul, anybody listening, I completely understand where you guys are coming from. But you cannot say something is old, outdated, and niched, or cliched, or whatever. You can't say that. You can't really say that, because if that was the case, like you said here, not you, like you said here, when it came to Genesis or any story before, like maybe 175 or something, the 175 arc, if that was the case, then not you, but Sega would have said, get rid of the SatAM cast. They would have. And whether you would say, no, I don't want to do that, you'd have no choice. Right? So if it wasn't relative, if it was old and outdated, then why are they still around? Yeah, I agree. The fans of the books are what's keeping them around. But have you ever thought, maybe, Ian, that a majority of the fans are not just newer fans, but it's longtime fans that have been with the franchise since the beginning, longtime fans that have been fans of that show? Have you ever thought about that from one moment, Ian? Paul, have you guys thought about that? I'm pretty sure you have. I mean, I understand maybe the reason you said that was to get a rise out of people. And you know what? You're doing quite a good job, because you got me doing this video, reading off your journal for the people that don't know about it yet. I get that. But Ian, let me explain something to you. Again, they're not old and outdated. I mean, maybe to you, the look, maybe to you and a lot of other people, the look is outdated and it needs to be refreshed. I get that. I understand that. I mean, heck, I'm okay. I'm fine with Sally's new redesign, because, as I said before, and I'll say it again, you could still see Sally in the face. You still know it's her. And heck, with all the fan art interpretations of the new design, and everything, you can pretty much tell it is her. It's just the way Ben Bates, I'll give him credit, kind of drew it. Made him look a little younger. I mean, heck, a guy here on YouTube named Zara Nazarak, Sean McLean, who does the Multimedia Chronicles, everybody knows about him, who also chats with people when he can on Stickcam every Friday or every other Friday or whenever he can. Even he said that the look on Sally made her look a little younger. Now, you say, Ian, that it's part of a larger game plan. Now, what is that game plan? What is it? I mean, I know you can't give too much away, but what is that larger game plan? I'm wondering, I'm curious. Is it maybe the fact that, I don't know, you might be doing something that a lot of fans fear you might do? I mean, Ian, I'm pretty sure, you said it yourself, some of the things you're hearing are hilarious and baffling. I'm pretty sure you're hearing the people saying, oh, he's going to change her personality. I'm sure you're hearing people saying that you're making her look younger. You're going to make her younger, de-age her, if you will. Regress her age, if you will. Well, Ian, if that was the case, you're doing a heck of a job of getting people, you and Ben are doing a heck of a job of getting people wondering that. I mean, I admit, it's like you said here, you can't, like I said here, and I'll quote it, you can't really comment because it's only a rough teaser image. In other words, it's a teaser, it's a rough image. In other words, like a rough draft of what the final concept will look like, and it's only a teaser. But then you go on to say, that it's part of a larger game plan. Now, when I read game plan, it makes me wonder, is Sega actually finally considering it? Or is it something different, or is it something on a larger scale? Now, again, what a lot of people fear, Ian, like I said, is you're going to write her where her personality is going to change and she's going to be younger. She's going to be not the Sally they know. Now, being a longtime fan myself, I truly believe, I truly want to believe, Eve, that, in fact, I do believe and have faith that you're going to keep her the way she is, personality-wise. That you might tweak the personality a bit, but that's it. I mean, I can understand that, you know, when somebody looks at that design, as you call it, the rough teaser image, that, it makes them wonder, it makes them curious as to why. Why would you do it? Or why would you draw her like that? Or why would you have Ben Bates or whoever's going to draw her like that? And it does kind of mess with your mind. But as I mentioned before, and I'll say it again, Ben Bates, when he would draw Sally in her, at the time, current Season 2 Satayam design, this design right here, if you will, matter of fact, let's, like this one right here, when they would draw her in that design, or when he would draw her in that design, he would make her look like she was not 16 or 17, but more along the lines of 12 to 13, or even 14 or something like that. I can't really say, but you get what I'm saying. So, again, it's like I said, and a lot of people have agreed with me on this, believe it or not. It all depends on who the artist is going to be from issue to issue. If Stephen Butler is in there, Stephen's going to say, you know what? I like the design, I like the new outfit, but she does look a little younger. We need to make her age. I mean, there are even issues at times that Sonic looks like he's younger than what he should be. No lie. But again, the thing that really catches people, Ian and Paul, is the larger game plan perspective. Like, what is that larger game plan? And again, could it be anything? Maybe it's the fact that she will be in a game finally. Who knows? But again, Ian, getting back to the point here, if Satayam, as you put it, and I quote, but suffice to say, Sally and the Satayam cast are old, outdated, niched characters. Well, first of all, if they were old and outdated, like I say, Sega would have had you wipe them out a long time ago. Sega wouldn't be approving of this being released as a DVD box set, nor would they approve of Adventures or Underground. They wouldn't be approving that if it's outdated. If it was outdated, Netflix wouldn't be streaming The Son of a Gun, I should say. Sorry about my language there. The Son of a Gun, if you will. They wouldn't be streaming it. They wouldn't be streaming Adventures or Underground. Okay? They wouldn't be doing that. Heck, it wouldn't have been considered earlier this year as a possible candidate to be on the This for Kids morning block for This TV, which is seen through the cable channels like Time Warner and Comcast and such. It wouldn't have been considered. Cookie Jar Entertainment wouldn't even have It, Underground, or Adventures on its website, on its Jawoo site, if you will, for people to watch. The point is, Ian, I know you probably said that because, as I mentioned earlier, to get a rise out of people like you did with me a little bit. But you got to be careful with your words. I mean, let's take for example, if Transformers G1 was outdated, outdated, cliched, why are some of the characters still around? Why is it still around, huh? Why is it still being being broadcast on the Hub channel, along with G.I. Joe Generation 1? Why is the movies being broadcast on there? I ask you that. You know, why is it when Michael Bay, despite how you feel about him, when he did the live action movies, make sure some of the characters stay true to who they were? Even in the new Transformers Prime. You know what? Why would they do that? Why would Mainframe, when they did Beast Wars, have a connection to G1? I'll tell you why. Because they never looked at Transformers, the ones that really put the franchise on the map, that cartoon and that toy franchise and that movie, just like the same with G.I. Joe, they wouldn't be looking at those, they wouldn't be referencing that franchise, that G1 franchise, if they felt it was outdated, if the characters were old and outdated and in shade. They wouldn't be doing that. True, when it came to the movies, I'm not going to deny it. They got redesigned, there's no doubt about it. But they kept them true to mostly who they were in some ways. The point is, just because you're redesigning a character doesn't mean where they came from is outdated. why do you think Netflix has this on the streaming right now in the Just for Kids section? I mean, they have two sections, adults and Just for Kids. Why do you think in the Just for Kids section they have it? Because that way a newer generation can discover it. And again, why do you think it was being considered earlier this year for the Just for Kids block? So a new generation could discover it. The point is, Ian, I understand, again, getting back to what I said, I understand and I respect, and heck, I'm okay with the fact that you got to redesign a character to make them more, to refreshen them, to freshen them up, if you will, to make them appeal to the newer, younger generation. As I had mentioned before in texts and on videos, to that newer generation, so that they can probably get attracted to that character and enjoy that character. You know, I understand that, Ian. I get that. I understand that completely. But what you have to understand is that these characters are never old or outdated. You can change their redesigns, no doubt about it. I mean, like I said, and I'll say it again, or maybe I did say it, I don't know if I did or not. But when Bunny went through her Daisy Duke routine, that was fine. I was cool with that. I thought it was nice. Gave her a little bit of a change. But it was still Bunny. You could see it. When she went, oh, cowgirl. Heck, I was one of the first on that cowgirl design bandwagon. Because I liked it. But it was still Bunny because when she took off the hat and the coat and the gloves and all that and the belt, it was still her. You know, I mean, heck, look at Sonic's mom, Brina. You're changing her design over and over again at times, making her, I mean, heck, one person said in one of the more recent issues, you made her look a lot like Amy in some ways. Ace. But here's the truth. At least it's still her. You could still see her. See, the point is, I have no problem whatsoever with those. I don't. I mean, when you give Rotor a coat, you know, if you will, glasses and boots, no problem. You give him a nanite suit, no problem. You give Nicole, they redesigned Nicole to being not more than just a portable computer to where she's a Lynx now, and then later on, even through, as I mentioned before, even through forced mind control, and then later as a double agent for the freedom fighters, her Ian Nicole look, and then he'll go out and then later on what you gave her, what you and Ben and Tracy gave her go out and party, go out and have fun and party outfit with the hat and everything. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. The thing is, folks, Ian and Paul, I have no problem. And no, I'm honestly, it's kind of 50-50, but I have no problem whatsoever with the design. It's more along the lines of when you add in the fact that you say that something like this show here, right here, is outdated. The characters from this show, this Saturday AM show, the characters from there are outdated, or old, outdated and niched, and need to be refreshed. I get the redesign, freshen them up kind of deal, but you cannot say where they came from is outdated. And I'm telling you this right now, Ian, I'll be totally honest with you. You and Paul will probably, hopefully hear this. I'll be totally honest with you. I feel that as we build towards this moment, to when she'll be restored, you're going to have people coming in, you're going to have a mixed reaction. You're going to have a mixed reaction coming in, just as you are now, from the fan base. And you're going to make a decision. Not saying you will, but I've got a feeling you're going to start considering the decision. You, Archie, the people in charge at Archie, maybe even Sega, are going to start considering, maybe we ought to do what we did with Bunny and Nicole, and let's have them switch back and forth. In other words, keep the new design, but every now and then have it go back to the original. That's what I think is going to happen, in my honest opinion. Now you and Paul may say, no, that's not going to happen. But you know what? Don't be surprised if you start considering that. In fact, I'm pretty sure, in my honest opinion, no disrespect, that you're probably considering that now, or at least those higher ups above you are considering it. But Ian, again, just to let you know, I have no problem. You, Ben, Tracy, Paul, I have no problem with the redesign. I don't. But what you need to do, if you're going to keep it, is you need to make her look more like what she was. Make her look older. I know it's going to take time. And like you said, it's just a rough teaser image, like a rough draft of what she's going to look like, but it's not the final say. It's not the final draft. It's not the final image. I get that. You'll probably show that off at the SDCC next year, the San Diego Comic-Con. But again, the point is, I have no problem with it whatsoever. I have no problem if you have to do one for Bunny and maybe even Antoine. No problem. Because you want to keep them refreshed and keep them updated. I get that. But you cannot come out and say that where they came from is outdated. Because you show this today, like you can see it on Netflix, even on YouTube, a new generation will get a kick out of it. Heck, my nephew, when he was younger, when this came out, my nephew was like what? Let's see. My nephew is who's 17 now, 5 years ago. When this came out, 5 years ago, was 12 years old. We're going on 12. He got a kick out of it. He liked it. And that was 13, 12 years after it came on. So what does that tell you? Anyway, I just thought I'd get that all off my chest. And no disrespect, Ian, Paul, Ben. And anybody wants to know, and anybody else that wants to read his journal, the link will be provided below. And I will talk to y'all later. I am running out of time when it comes to HD video. So take care, God bless, peace out, and I'm out.